Hey guys, welcome everybody to our second day of our virtual Mom Summit. We're super excited to celebrate Mother's Day this week with amazing speakers. Yesterday we had Simran Chopra, who's a nutritionist, with a fabulous conversation. Today we have Dr. Ishinna Sadana. I'm super excited to chat with her. And tomorrow we have actress Madhu, so make sure you check that out at 7 p.m. So I'm going to start off with introduction of who we are, why we're doing all of this. So I'm a mom of three myself. I have three boys. I have a 4-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 13-year-old. So I'm dealing with all age groups. So of course, the Sheena steps is always helpful. Um, and with Mom Power 360, we are a community based for moms. And what we do is we bring together wonderful people like Ishinna and the rest of them, all different experts, because when it comes to being a mother, we're wearing so many hats and there isn't one way that we can do right. And there's so many perspectives to it. Considering that, we wanted to create a community to bring in this conversation that matters. So you get to pick and choose who you want to be, what's your parenting style, what's your relationship style. So you could be empowered in the best way possible to create the beautiful life that you deserve. So talking about those lines today, our topic is parenting. As you know, children don't come with manual. We pretty much are given that, whether we like it or not. It's a beautiful journey. Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the best role I've ever played. But of course, we don't come prepared for it. And we learn as we go and we make mistakes. We learn from it. But also there's a lot at stake, especially if you are carrying any baggages from past or certain things that might not have worked, you tend to carry the pattern. So it's so important to break that generational patterns, things that don't work, and things that work, you carry on and pass it to the next generation. So that's the tweaking we're going to do. And why we need to do it's you're creating literally the next generation. I met so many broken adults, when I travel, when I go out to conferences and we have conversation and I see broken adults. And when you talk to them, you know where it's all coming from. So that is a responsibility we as mothers have. It's not just about glorifying motherhood, but also looking at what can we do where maybe a little change here, a little change there, so we can give the best chance for our children. So considering that, I would like to welcome Dr. Ishinna Sadana. She is a mother of two herself. In fact, she just had a baby. So congratulations, and absolutely adorable. She has two boys. She's a boy mom as well. So high five for that. So Ishinna, she's a certified parenting coach with a PhD in human development and MSc. She has years of experience in this field. She runs her center by name of New Insights. She takes personal sessions for parents and also conducts workshops to help parents deal with the parenting challenges and connect better with their children. Very important. She has helped and guided 25,000 plus parents, coaching, through her workshops and parent coaching session with amazing results in their journey. She has recently published a book, Power to the Parents. She has more than 1 million parents following her on her Instagram handle. And she also runs a full-fledged course on being a positive parenting coach, which aims to help spread this knowledge to parents and mentoring professionals who can help themselves and other parents. So that is amazing. Congratulations, Ishinna. So how are you feeling today? We're going to start off with that because you yourself are a new mom right now with an infant in hand and releasing a book and managing all the coaching. How do you do this?
Like everyone does.
Yeah, like more power to you. Like now I know why you titled your book that way. So how is it going with your newborn and how old are your kids firstly?
It's it's going the way it's going for everyone. It's a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot of things, and I first want to thank
Mhm.
you, Lakshmi, for doing this for parents, for mothers. Like your title suggests, Mom Power. My title
Yeah.
is Power to the Parent. We all need this
We do.
because
We do.
you're doing so much with little
Yes.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I loved every word that you said, Lakshmi. Every
Thank
word resonated. The
you.
part about broken atoms, the part
Yeah,
about the generational trauma that we do not want to carry forward. We want to break that cycle, and
right.
also validating that it's not easy.
Yeah,
Even though we talk about parenting in a gentle way, be calm, do not get angry at your children, but we all are going through a lot, like our
you do.
generational trauma, what we are carrying, plus the pressures of our lives today. If you're working, then also if you're not working, even then we are going through a lot.
Yeah,
Family, relationships,
right,
what not? Sometimes physical issues. So
right.
staying calm and being gentle, I think we need to
Yeah,
have a more realistic approach. That's what I
totally.
talk about. Of course, we need to be calmer, but we need to
Well, I
have.
feel like it's easier said than done. Theory is one thing, but when you're going through that, it's totally different ball game. It's like no matter how much we read, like you see my collection, like I have whole collection. I love reading. But and of course it does help because I feel like it's a very slow process. It does not happen overnight, especially if you are carrying certain traumas and certain ways of doing life. So that means we, one, invest into learning. That means we're constantly putting stuff like changing our thought patterns. We're also surrounding ourselves with positive people like Ishina and everybody else who believe in that, who are not defaulting into their role, but they believe that yes, they can be a little bit better every day, tiny bit. So that's when you make changes. Yes, there are days we fail, and that's okay, and to give ourselves grace and be like, and to be humble enough to tell our children, okay, I messed up, sorry, and then to do better next day. I feel like as long as we are staying in that core, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're only going to talk about being calm and calm parenting, and there's so many people today. I started talking about parenting a few years back, 5, 6 years back exclusively. And then
Mm-hmm.
people were not talking about it as much, and people were not open as much to
Mm-hmm.
talk about this and change your parenting style. But now that everyone's talking about it, I think one thing that has come forward is a lot of guilt,
Yeah.
and that, see, people are telling us to be calm and we are not able to be calm, so I'm losing it at my child, and then you're feeling bad about it, and because you're feeling so bad about it, then you're not able to come out of it, so you're in a cycle where you're not feeling better, so you're not able to do better. So I
Mm-hmm.
think with the talk about gentle and calm parenting, that's of course there, and we are going to discuss that. It's so
Mm-hmm.
important, like you said, to give ourselves grace, to forgive ourselves, to be kind to ourselves, to love ourselves, and take that one step every day and keep
Mm-hmm.
working, because the journey of even growing is, it's not like this, it's not linear.
Yeah,
Sometimes
totally.
you'll feel that yes, I'm able to do it now, and then you might just feel that you've regressed, and then you'll come back. So it is, that's the journey. So
Yeah,
let's take it. I might be a parenting expert, but then with, I'm just like you all, I'm a parent at home. So
right,
sometimes
right.
even when I know better, I'm
Yeah,
not able to do better.
right, right.
I might see myself, this is not going in the right direction, Ishana. I might have to just, don't, let's stop, let's come back. So that's
Yeah, yeah.
something that we all have to do, but important is that we are doing that.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But for me, I do this whole conference for moms. I talk about it. But the days that I'm not too proud of myself, and I literally address, I'm like, okay, today I think I totally screwed up. And that's the day when I say, okay, you know what? I think as you said, like back off a bit and kind of rework. But I feel like that is the growing pain, I believe, of being a better parent and a better person, as long as we are identifying that. Because there are people who do not even identify that. It's like, this is the way, and that's it. I feel like that is the beginning of failure in this journey. So as long as we're humble enough, I think we got it. And that's what we aim to do with this sessions, to kind of let moms know that you will fail, you're going to lose it. That's okay. Just pick yourself up. But as long as the love for your children's in the core of everything, you're going to be great. And the bond's going to build.
Yeah, and it's a human relationship after all. There's nothing perfect about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we are
True.
learning and growing. And sometimes I always say that
Mm-hmm.
even if you feel you fail. I don't even like to use the word fail. I mean,
Hmm.
okay, we
Right.
make mistakes, but
Right.
even when we make mistake,
Hmm.
how we handle ourselves after that mistake,
Hmm.
how we apologize, like you said, how
Right.
we take responsibility of our actions. Plus, we do not become so hard on ourselves. We understand ourselves. Whatever we do after making a mistake, our children are seeing that also. So we are
Right.
setting an example of how to make a mistake and then make amends and come out of it, because that's what life is: making mistakes, learning, coming out of it. So we
Right.
cannot be perfect. We
Exactly.
make mistakes, we become more approachable for our children.
Right. Right.
They
I love
see us
that.
like we are different.
It said like taking that responsibility when we do certain mistakes. And yes, you're right. More than failure, like we feel it's a failure, but it's human errors that we do because there's so much happening all at the same time. Life's happening full speed, not just the parenting. There are other aspects as well that's constantly influencing. But yes, children do learn watching us. I feel like more than we preach, they're watching our behavior and how we are fixing things. I feel like that's the key. And end of the day with children, they're with us until they're what, like, 20, 18, 20, at least in this country. But we have this few years where we can teach them interpersonal relationship, how to handle emotions. And all that's coming through us, which is like, when you think of in that sense, you go like, oh my gosh, like I have a big role to play here. More than like saying that, hey, you need to be this. It's more like, hey, I need to be like this. So they can
That's the tough part.
tell me more about like what we were talking about. We're talking about how with I think parenting, it's about us taking action and taking responsibility. And even, just referring to this point, as I was talking about broken adults, I feel these are the behavior of a broken adult. I think this was a complete display of a broken adult. I'm sure things weren't done right by the mother somewhere, not because she didn't want to, because somewhere she failed in her role that resulted in this kind of human being loose in the society. So now it's our role, it's even more important that it's our role to make sure that we do it right and to teach our children, especially for me, like we have 3 boys and you have boys. So just to teach our boys to respect women, to value them and to stay out of such nonsense. But yes, so what are your other like, let's talk about your book. So what are like the key points that you focus on in your book? Like what made you want to write the book?
So what made me write the book?
Mm-hmm.
Just I just wanted this information that I was sharing on social media. If
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm sharing, or there's so many parenting
Mm-hmm.
experts, parenting coaches, people talking about parenting in general also, but the information is very, it's not complete.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming from so many places that we don't even know if it's true, if it's not. There's so many things being talked about. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to give out a complete picture
Mm-hmm.
of what
Yeah.
I'm saying. A 30
Mm-hmm.
second reel, a 60-second reel, even a live video when I do for 25 minutes, 30 minutes, it's not enough. I
Right.
cannot give out everything. I cannot answer all the questions. And that's why I wrote my book, so that
Yeah.
I can give that information uh,
Mm-hmm.
to everyone who needs it.
Right.
That's
And I
one
love
thing.
your, I like how you kind of talk about those intricate details and it's delivered in such a beautiful way. So when it comes to like parenting, as you were talking about, it's easier said than done. So what are your advice for moms who are really stressed out? They're working outside, they're coming home, they're taking care of their children, there's so many family pressures, and some days they're just tired, but they cannot take a back seat. They cannot say, hey, I'm going to take off today. They're still going to do. So what are your tips in those moments where they feel so overwhelmed?
Okay. Firstly, I would say that we all are sailing in this boat. We
Mm-hmm.
all are going through this. Every mother is having a hard day, sometime or the other. Hard days at a stretch sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
if you are also having one of those days, few things that I can say is: first, please validate yourself. We talk about validating children. We say that
Mm-hmm.
when your child is feeling an emotion, when your child is feeling angry, when your child is feeling frustrated, tell them, name the emotion, validate
Yeah.
it, empathize with them. We
Mm-hmm.
can only truly do that to them Genuinely do that without only just copy pasting those statements of I understand you're feeling bad, I
Mm-hmm.
understand you're feeling frustrated. To
Mm-hmm.
go beyond and making it really genuine, really understanding your child, it starts with understanding ourselves.
Right.
If
True.
you are going through a hard time, validate. Yeah, today is a hard day. I'm not able
Yeah.
to be calm. I'm not able to keep my patience. I'm going
Mm-hmm.
through a lot.
Mm-hmm. True. True.
Second thing that you do is because you know you're going through a lot or you're having that hard day, you pause a little
Yeah.
more. I know we cannot take an off and we cannot just sit and have that chilled out day because we're not feeling too well, but we can certainly cut ourselves some slack somewhere in the day.
Right. Right.
We can just pause more. We can do a
Yeah.
little less.
Mm-hmm.
Be realistic with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
when we're
also
pushing
maybe
ourselves. Yes, yes.
seek help with, like, like yesterday we were chatting about how talking to your spouse and getting them involved in the process. Now my husband's like super supportive in everything I do, so we do have a relationship where I could tell him, it's like, you know what, today I think it's too much for me, to be able to address that. I feel like it's important.
That's true.
And Yeah, and with some people, some husbands are not as cooperative, and that was one question
I was
yesterday.
just
So
about to say.
what's your advice for such women?
I was just about to say that. I was saying that Lakshmi, sometimes people do not even have that privilege. Sometimes actually the source of stress is the husband.
Exactly. Yeah,
Now what to
that
do
gets
with that?
harder. Yeah, I think that'd be a harder child to deal with than the kid itself.
Exactly. Sometimes that becomes more troublesome for us. And
Mhm,
even for that, I always use this statement and it helps me in my life. That
mhm,
is, you can only do as much as you can, and that's it.
mhm.
So, given the situation that you are in, again, validate. We are not saying that even if everything is going against you, you just keep smiling. It's just that that's not possible.
It's a
But
pressure cooker at that point. You're building up, and eventually it will blow up. So it's better to kind of address things when it's smaller.
yes,
Mm,
address things within if you can't do it externally,
right.
is my point.
Mm,
To blame, to keep asking, to keep putting it out there, seeing what I'm going through. You need to help me. You're not doing enough. Or if you're doing all that with your husband and in return, you're only getting blames and it's becoming that thing does not help.
yeah.
Ultimately, it's becoming toxic for the child only. Now you want to be a better parent, but
Yeah.
then the whole scenario in the house, you're just bickering or you're just fighting with each other, does not help ultimately.
Mm,
So
mm,
if you are not getting that externally, validate and do as much as you can.
yeah. Yeah. That's
And
a
that is
beautiful.
it. That is what
Right.
you can do. When
Certain
you
things.
start changing yourself and when you stop
Mm,
blaming, not that I'm saying that there's nothing wrong externally, that they are not
mm,
doing anything wrong or they are not taking responsibility and you should be okay with it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that play your part right.
right. I love that. That's such a beautiful point. Like, to just focus on ourselves at that time and just do what we can control, because there's so many things we don't have control over. Others, we don't have control over the situation. Instead of turning toxic and turning into like this blame game, and you or this or that, and it turns into like, and the child who's listening will be like, oh my god, like I'm in a chaos, and their brain starts to reel. So yes, just smiling and giving that grace and doing the best in that
And having
situation. Oh,
and having healthy boundaries, Lakshmi. So
yeah, I
when I
love that.
say that that you do your part and just do not blame, I'm not saying that you don't take stand for yourself. So
Right.
there's a thin line that we are talking
Yeah.
about. There's a balance that we need to create. We need to have boundaries because
Mhm,
even for our children, we need to show what boundaries are. If you
mhm,
feel that फिर कुछ भी ना करें, should we do nothing then? No,
right, right,
do what
right,
you can. So I just
right.
wanted to clarify.
I love that line, because even a lot of girls, when they grow up, they see their moms either two way, right? Either they're aggressive and approaching that way, so they're either picking that, or they're seeing another way where they yield to everything and they kind of push themselves to the bottom of everything, and then they learn that, oh, I come last, and then they carry it forward. So I love that, to draw that boundary in a very respectful way, saying that, hey, you know what? I think this is my limit. Like one exec yesterday, I was feeling very overwhelmed. I was exhausted. It was late night, and my two little ones are still going, talking, and we're having good time. I'm still like blabbing. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm getting tired. And later after a while, I'm like, I'm really getting tired. I think I'm really sleepy. So mommy needs to probably go rest, and so should you. I love the conversation. We can carry it on tomorrow. But to just to be like, okay, I think this is the limit. Yes, I feel like a lot of resentment and things builds up, especially when it comes to partner from there, right? Not drawing that healthy boundary. And we had a bunch
I
of
loved what you just said, and I want to highlight it for everyone that, like you said, when you are exhausted, when you were going through a lot, you just said that, hey, I'm going through a lot right now.
Yeah.
It's very important for us to do, like when I say, well, before validating, it's more important to see it. You can only validate something that you see. So when you see that you're not feeling too good, and that is when our reactions are not in our favor, is what I mean. It's so important to just take a back seat and be more passive instead of even I was going through it since morning. I have to travel tomorrow. So much is happening. I'm taking care of two kids, and I was in my heart. I was feeling this person is not helping me. My partner, he needs to take charge. He knows I have to leave, and there's so much that I am doing. Now that is building up. Now, right now, when I'm going to talk to him, I'm not going to come out right, and I might just increase my problem. It might be more in my head right now. And even if it's there, my reactions are not going to be right. So that is when I speak less.
I love that.
Just
what a beautiful, yeah.
Why to increase my own problem with my own? Because if I'm going to say two lines, I'm going to get two lines back, and I don't want those lines.
And then it's even more, and as you have less time, and then we're like spiraling out.
Yeah. So save yourself from your own behavior's damage, is what I will say, because you can't really control the outside.
One thing that happened was, as postpartum depression is a thing. Now with the first two, I did good. I mean, kind of with the second, kind of felt it, but with third one, it hit me hard. And I remember like I could feel it like a lot more. And of course, there are a lot of things and overwhelmed feeling, right? And later I told my husband, I'm like, okay, don't believe anything I tell you for next 3-4 months. Just ignore everything. I prepared them. I prepared him and the kids. It's like, just ignore me. Don't take my word literally. So I'm probably might blabber some nonsense because I know it's not me. Like consciously I knew it's hormones playing against me because the body has gone through. So it's like that verbally reminding kind of yourself and your people that there's certain times that don't believe me and you think just ignore me. I'm going through a phase, So
yeah, that's so true.
yeah, I also love this point. So any other question? We could like start taking questions if even no cameras for sure. The cameras are banned from now on for all the mom.
But you can write your questions, anything that you are facing with your children, anything you want to share, anything you want to ask. I'll be more than happy to answer.
Yeah.
And I just want to say hi to Pooja. She's a very old follower and a friend.
Oh yeah. Hi Pooja. Yeah. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, go ahead. We're I think still good with the time.
If nothing else, you can just share the age of your children. Anything that you're facing, any challenge that you're facing. If you have an adolescent, if you have a toddler, Pratiksha wants to say something.
Yeah. You could unmute Pratiksha. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Pratiksha, go ahead.
Not able to.
Yeah, Pratiksha could, you could turn the piano, Pratiksha, so you could turn off the. She's one of our members.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, hi. First of all, Ishina, thank you so much. And let's be pretty strong about this. We've faced way more worse things than this. So let's move over what even unfortunately happened. But I want to come back and really want to say one very important thing is that firstly we have always been facing unprecedented battles and all kinds of stuff, being from the newborn stage to even I can say even moms who are teenagers for that matter. So I just want to ask one very simple thing: is what would be your advice to the term of being overwhelmed during motherhood? It can be in all kinds of forms. One day you are just not having it. Another day, though everything is there, but again at the same time, the people whom you may want to count on are just not doing it for you. So at the end of the day, I just want to ask you as a coach, and I'm sure you've faced similar questions like this as well. What would be that one thing which maybe even what you say to what would what would be your take on that for the overwhelming things which always hits us during motherhood?
Yeah, so the journey is not easy. We will have those days. And my advice is I tell myself, this is not going to last. This is just one day. Every day is different. Things like that. Sometimes I really believe in affirmations. I really believe in when I go through a lot of emotions, I believe in separating myself from the situation and looking at it like an observer and just seeing things from a distance. If you can do it, if you practice meditation or if you practice something like that, it really helps you in feeling centered. Okay, fine, this is what it is. I also sometimes tell myself that I'm safe, everything is safe, my child is safe, see, my children are safe. If things are fine, my children are healthy, my family is healthy.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not a crisis, everything is okay. So I get myself back into perspective because mostly we are overwhelmed because of our thought process. And it's just
Okay.
running, running, running. See, this is what is happening against me, and see, this is what is happening, and see, my life is this, and I'm not working enough, and I'm not able to do it, and my children are not. Da, 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 da. Stop. Stop the brain.
True, true, so true.
So when you stop and breathe, and because you cannot stop and breathe as such, because your brain is like running and you're not able to get hold of it, that's why I say that just stop and start saying everything is safe. I am safe. My child is safe. Everything's okay. Take one day at a time. Today is such. Tomorrow will be different. See, 1 year back it was different. See, 1 year later it will be different. So getting yourself back into perspective, it really helps in calming ourselves down and getting through that day with least damage.
Right. I love
All right.
that point with the breathing because recently I did this mind body like medicine course, um, and that they were talking about like how interrelated the breathing is to our body and our nervous system and everything. It was so fascinating, and even for me to kind of go through because I'm more of a shallow breather, and I like it starts impacting me, and sometimes I don't even realize it's because I'm taking shallow breath. It's like my brain's going into chaos. So sometimes that taking that step and doing that, that's why I talk about mindful motherhood. I've done talks on that, because that's what I discovered, that the more I kind of calm myself just with deep breath, it has so much better impact. It surprises me versus just kind of be like reactive each time, just that taking that moment away and
I would
pausing.
suggest taking from you, Lakshmi. I would suggest everyone who's here with us right now, just take one deep breath, just one deep breath, and you'll realize how shallow your breath was till now.
Yeah, totally. It's a practice. I feel like as mothers, we're always so hustling that we fall into we don't even realize that it's happening. And I'm like, oh my god, did I forget breathing? Which is
I
the
think
first
you
thing
did.
I forgot breathing. But like if you being consciously aware, and so there's another event that I attended. It's called the breath work, right? So it's like a workout, but it's a breath work. It's this intense thing. I mean, that's a whole another story. I'll probably make a post on that. But yes, whole change on that. We have another question here. So from Shivi, she says, I'm mother of two daughters, 6 and 4. I'm working mother and currently living in joint family for 6 months. getting very frustrated, and at times I put it on girls, and I hate myself for doing it. How to handle this?
Firstly, I will say this is something that is very common. Mostly, whatever we are going through, we tend to put it on our children. Reasons can be as simple as there's so much pent up. Our children cannot do anything. So we know that that's the area where we can just use our power,
Release.
not to blame. I think most of us sometimes we tend to do that. But
Mm.
it's that perspective of if we are regulating with everyone around us, if you're regulating with the members of the joint family, if you're regulating with, if you're like, see, I'll come back to what I was saying. Shubhi, your two daughters, they must be your world. You must love them so deeply. I can't even imagine the intensity of love we mothers carry for our children. They must be the most important people in your life. And then, when you are going through a lot, you are regulating yourself with everyone, with your family members, with your husband. If someone calls, even then your tone will change, everything. Yes, hello, you'll be fine. You will not put it out there. But people who are the most important to you, it will come out on them.
Mhm.
So let's change that perspective. If they are that important, they deserve that. If you will just change that, and you will realize that just one thought of today I'm going to not do. I am
Mhm.
going to this next 1 hour, I am not going to shout at. Just having that thing in mind and regulating yourself when you can. Take care of yourself, I will say. I know you must be going through a lot, but please take those breaks. Keep yourself, I mean, it's so important that we take care of ourselves if we want to be effective in taking care of our children. So I hope that self-care part you're able to do as much as you can. But please just start thinking about regulating yourself, and you'll be able to do it much better. Not always perfect, but if you feel you're doing it, just
Mhm.
start with that thought. If you lose it at your children 8 out of 10 times, reduce it to 5, then reduce it to 3. Make it a practice. We get good at what we practice.
Right.
If
Right.
we are practicing losing it at our children, we are getting very good at
Right. Great point. And also, living in a joint family
it. Not
setup
easy.
is frustrating, not easy, because dealing with different personality. No matter how good the intentions are, when you're dealing with different thought process, it does get challenging. So with what even Ishina was saying about earlier with the setting the boundaries. So now instead of releasing on children, if that, because mostly it's coming from pent up emotion. So if you were to address it with the right people, with the other adults in the family, whether it's husband or in-laws, and to be like in a nice way, be like, this has been hard, and to start talking about it, then it gets easier. Especially since children are still young, that means you've been in the family setup for not too long. So it's good to establish that now, then wait for another 10 years, and then it gets only complicated because even with children, as they get older, it's a different set of things and they're watching, it's teenagers. So you need to start doing it like right now, talking to people who are causing certain frustrations than other way. So,
I would like to add one more point, Lakshmi.
mhm,
I just want to tell you, everyone who's losing it at their children because of the stress that you have in your life.
mhm,
Right now, your stress, and I say this in my workshops a lot, and it really makes sense.
mhm,
How we are behaving with our children, it's coming back to us.
right.
So if you are losing it at your children, definitely your children might be throwing more tantrums.
Mhm,
They might not be listening to you.
mhm,
They might be more cranky, clingy.
mhm,
If you feel that your children are behaving like that,
mhm,
it's not all your fault, but it is coming because of your own behavior also. So whatever
mhm,
stress you have in life, because of which you're not able to regulate with your children, and because of that, I mean, you are just getting angry at your children again and again, being short tempered, losing patience. Now your stress is going to increase, because now your children are also going to become a source of stress, because now their behavior is going to come back. So
right.
save yourself from that. Whenever I'm
Yeah.
going through a lot already, I
Mhm,
make sure that I'm not getting angry at my child, or I'm not putting it out there, because then that's going to affect me. Ultimately, it's going to come back to me, because my son will give it back to me. Now my stress is going to increase. So save yourself from that part. At least my son is sorted. Things are sorted at this place, and I don't want more problems. So pause.
mhm. one
First
that's a
was
problem to handle. Yeah, and we have another question here from Pooja. She says she has like my kids are 2 and 4 years. They fight a lot. The younger one always snatches the older one things just when the elder one starts playing, and almost everyone supports the younger one, saying he's younger. I think it's unfair to the elder one. What can be done in such a case?
fight a lot. Younger one always snatches older one's things just when
That's
the
a
elder one
typical.
starts.
So as moms, we're always playing nephew role. And that was the first thing. And even now, at my the last two, the first one is cool. The last two still get into that stuff. So that's a battle, ongoing battle.
This is hard. Taking
Yeah.
care of children so closely apart, not easy.
Mhm.
Here, I will just say, firstly, the older one must be going through a lot. Firstly, uh, just when he was 2, there was another child, and now he has to adjust because of that child. So I think you're right. When you say you already know it in your heart, Pooja, that it's unfair to the elder one. So I will suggest stop doing that. If you
Mhm.
feel the younger one cries and throws that kind of tantrum because of which you have to give whatever the elder one has, sometimes beta de do na dekho wo ro raha hai. See, please give it to him. See, he's crying. If you do that, it's not right for the younger one also, because now
Right.
he is also going to throw more tantrums to get what he wants, because that's what he's learning. He's learning
Right.
that whenever I cry or whenever I shout, everyone will tell my brother to give it back to me.
Mhm.
So it's not helping the younger one in having good behavior ultimately. So that, and the elder one is also feeling not good about it. So I will suggest try to keep a balance. Do not always try to be fair. Now it's his turn, now it's her turn. Try to observe more. When we are interfering in our children's fights more, the fights increase. So
Mhm.
take a back seat. Be only interfere when it's required, when there is something, I mean, they're hurting each other or something like that. Otherwise, take a back seat. If they both are crying for one toy, and one tip that I would like to give over here is make their fights more disadvantageous. How we make it a disadvantageous? For example, they are fighting for a toy. You take that toy away. Now both of them are not getting it. They might both cry because they are not both getting it. But ultimately, they will see that you're not here to just solve and say, now this is his bhaiya's turn, now this is his turn, now you do it, now you do it. If you will, so for example, if both of them are fighting, "No, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine," you say, okay, and you be calm. Huh? Now, because both of them having very high energy, lots of emotions, both of them are having right now. If you will also come with a lot of emotions yourself, what is happening? Please don't do this. Oh my God. Then you become part of the situation. Now, 3 kids are
And
there with
there's
us.
3 kids.
So you
Yeah.
might as well first just take a deep breath. We just discussed that breath. Take a deep breath and go, okay, okay, I think you both are okay. I think you both are feeling too many emotions, too many emotions. Okay, you want this toy, you also want this toy. For now, I'm going to take this toy. I know. So you're not trying to solve anything. You are first taking that problem out. I will keep it over here. I know, let's talk. Okay, fine. Because of 2 and 4, they don't understand anything. So
True, yeah.
now you made it disadvantageous. So, for example, both of them are wanting to watch some screen and they have to share it and they are fighting for it because I want to watch this, I want to watch this. So, you can just take a break from that screen instead of saying, now this you will watch, if that's becoming a problem. Whenever there's some problem happening again and again, break the pattern,
Mhm.
break your own pattern of solving.
And this, like, from my experience, with 3 kids, all age group, as you know. So they're always like like with my older one and the younger one, and they all kind of had their set. So earlier it was the older and the middle child, and now it's the middle child and the younger child. And I see that pattern. And one thing I do is first day I go like I start hearing that, and my little one he loves his older brothers, and they've always been like they've always had the bond. They follow each other, and they always want the same thing, no matter what else they have. They want the brother's toy, just extra special when they play with it. So one thing I would say is like first work it out. I don't want to get involved, work it out. And then the point of like taking the toy away, after a certain point, you don't figure out ways to work. I'm gonna have to take it. And other thing that I would also do, talk to is like, can we set a time? Then I have this clock. It's somewhere right here on my desk. Yeah, this clock right here. So this is like the visual clock, like you can actually see it. So I'd set a time so they can actually see the time ticking, and I would give them each that thing, especially with the younger one because he really wants to. It's like, are you okay if I set 15 minutes or whatever? You decide how much time, and that way, what happens, the older one feels that he's, like he's doing something good, problem is resolved, he'll still get his toy back. So there's a defined period where he has to make the compromise. So it's like a lot of value learned and the bond is still there. And the little one feels like, oh, my older brother did give me. It's more of the act than the toy itself. So I would be like, okay, timer is ticking, we'd keep it. And as soon as it's done, I said, no drama, you're going to give it back. Always worked for me. So I figured, and we tried everything. Finally, I'm like, after being a mom for like 13 years, I kind of figured the system was kind of good.
Beautiful advice, Lakshmi. And I just, with 3 kids, I'm definitely sure that you are facing these same situations from the beginning. And Pooja, just you said that we need to be involved because they're hurting each other. Be involved, do not solve.
Yeah.
You have to be involved, but you are not always solving it for them. Another thing is try not to highlight their fights a lot. They're always fighting. See, every time he does this, every time they're doing this. If you're going to say this a lot, they are going to continue doing it. They're listening to you. They're listening that every time we play with a toy, we fight. Every time he does this, you do this. So instead, please highlight more positive, especially for your 4-year-old. Highlight when he's behaving the way you want him to behave. So highlight that, see how nicely you did it. You were so kind to your brother. I can see how you just helped him. Oh, you really wanted that toy and you were trying wanting to share, but he did. Oh, and validate, empathize, validate. Even if you can't give that toy, just validate. Oh, you're feeling upset. I can see you're feeling upset. Be more calm and do that. I'm sure you will be able to navigate better, but be realistic. You have 2 children, 2 years apart, you're going to face it.
Yeah, by default, you will, no matter what you do, they will have to, because again, you have to remember that is the way they're learning, like how to deal with people and emotion. In fact, look at it as an opportunity. It's like, oh, they're learning something here. Life's not going to be rosy. They will have to learn to give, take, part of life, and they're learning young. I think it's nature's way of teaching them. Let's see. So my daughter is 8 years old. She throws too much tantrum, and so 2 years shows. So 2-year-old shows the same way. Well, it's another question from Navdeep.
My daughter is 8 years. She throws too much tantrums, and so 2 years show the same way. Okay, so you've got 2 kids. One is 8 and one is 2. That's what I understand. What kind of tantrums I would like to understand, if you can just type. Always remember, if you're talking about tantrums, this is for everyone, be it a teenager, be it any child. Tantrums are just behavior which have some feelings underlying. So if the tantrum is in terms of they argue a lot, they are being stubborn if they want something, whatever is happening, it's because of. So instead of solving things for their tantrums, arguing with their tantrums, please talk to that feeling, is what I will say. With that 8-year-old also, aggressive behavior. Is that the same person? Yes, aggressive behavior. Again, aggression and anything that is coming out, it is very intimidating for us to see an 8-year-old being aggressive, but it is definitely coming because maybe they're feeling misunderstood, they're feeling disconnected from us, they're feeling emotions, or sometimes they feel that this behavior gets them what they want. As simple as that. She's 8. She has learned with time, and all this I'm just saying through the experience of talking to so many parents. Some things may apply, some things may not apply to you, Navdeep. But just consider that if she is having a pattern of behavior that's repeating again and again, then if she's being very stubborn again and again, either she's feeling very misunderstood, or second, she feels that whenever I'm going to act like this, ultimately I might change the no to yes. I might get what I want. I might get my way, because we might say that, okay, fine, do it. Okay, please stop doing this. Now you take that iPad and go and watch it if you want to. I can't take this anymore. Or if that is happening, then your child is going to continue those tantrums. So please don't give in. And if you want to give in,
so,
yes.
No, go ahead. I was just trying to unmute just.
That's one insight that I want to give you. And second, if she is being aggressive, if she's being stubborn, empathize more, explain less. Sometimes we're explaining a lot. You should not behave like this. See what you're doing, highlighting that behavior. She's become so aggressive these days. She's become very stubborn. Why are you doing this? Instead of looking at the child with that perspective, sometimes because of these behaviors, we're just highlighting what they're doing wrong instead of, and that whatever they're doing right takes a backseat. Whatever we are highlighting is increasing. So if that stubborn behavior and aggression is increasing, just check if you're highlighting it too much, labeling your child in that way. Highlight those positive aspects again. 8-year-olds starting toward going towards the preteens, a lot of changes are going to happen. This may increase. Please change your approach towards talking to your child, is what I say. Don't give in, but validate. What's happening, Beta? Are you not feeling good right now? If okay, fine, I can see that you really want it, but I can't give it. Are you being calm? How are you dealing with it? Because of you, see, she's also behaving like this. I hope that's not what you're saying. So there's a lot in this. Whatever is coming to my mind, I'm saying some things may just click.
So we have another Bharti saying, like, how about teens and the emotional blackmail? Say, with as elders, because the older ones and they have to compromise. One of the question here was from Bharti. What about teens who emotionally blackmail, saying that you always support the elder, or vice versa?
Okay. One thing, do not
Yeah.
explain yourself.
I love that. Love that.
Because if you're going to do that, they're going to come back for that explanation.
That's what they want.
That's what they want.
Especially teens. I'm going through the teen phase right now with my 13-year-old. Totally different humans, like who they are as toddlers to later, like preteens to teen. You won't even recognize them in so many ways. You're like, who are you, child? Like, and now now he's going through that phase where he kind of puts me to test on various level. I'm like, well,
they are learning to be an adult.
Yeah, exactly. And I see that. And so that's the first thing. Once I start seeing the pattern, it's like, okay, listen, you're my first child. So you got to teach me how to parent a teen. Like, I don't know. I've heard like all the crazy stories with the teen years, how challenging it can be. I know it's going to be challenging. And I know it's not your main brain, your logical brain. It's your amygdala that's taking over. So just go easy on me. so that's like an understanding I've already reached with him. So he's a good child, very good child.
Just one more thing to blackmailing, teenagers blackmailing. So don't explain, because it will become an argument. And they're going to say you do this, and then you say, no, last time I supported you, I don't do it every time. Why are you saying this? And it will become an argument, and we don't want to get into it, because like Lakshmi said, it's a brain that is going through a lot of restructuring. So we don't want to get into that. Another thing is, even if they're blackmailing and saying or pouring their heart out in that way, make them feel listened without taking it personally.
Right. That's a great point. I think sometimes they just want to just have a conversation, or sometimes just to sit next to us, just to feel like, we're around, because a lot of times they don't want to share everything. Depends what kind of a child you have. If you're a talkative child or you have a much quieter child, just that the presence that, okay, they're around. Yeah. Then and we have like so many amazing questions here. We're talking about here, there's one more. My 4-year-old is hitting, pinching, fighting. How do we resolve this in spite of ignoring it and not highlighting it? Sometimes it gets too much. Well, I think you should tell. It is tough, but you have to tell them no is no.
No is no. We don't ignore behaviors that are hurting people.
Right.
We ignore behaviors that are not harming. So we choose our fights. So first thing with 4-year-old is that you let him be himself wherever you can. Allow that way of expression is what I will say. But when he's hitting, pinching, biting, or he's doing all these things, put a boundary. We cannot do it, and put a boundary from a face of no aggression, no overwhelmed. If you're going to be overwhelmed yourself, what are you doing? We don't hate bacha. And if you're going to explain a lot, See, mama got hurt. See, she's now crying. Now, see, papa got hurt. We don't do that. Go, we have to put medicine because you hurt. If you're going to do all that, then we are highlighting it so much that that behavior sticks to the child's brain, and now it's going to repeat.
Mhm.
So you do not overdo it, you do not have too much drama around it, but you put a boundary firmly, calmly, like an authority,
Mhm.
without getting into it. So we say, hey, okay, fine. I think you need help. We are not going to hit Bachchan. I know. And you do not let them hit. If you have the option, you take a back step. You don't hold their hands like that, because then it's going to be like you are holding the hands and they are doing this, and there's a lot of drama happening. You don't want to
Giving
get
them
into
more
that.
power by doing that. I feel like, wow, now I can control an adult. Let's do more.
Yes, we don't give them that control. So we approach from a place of being calm and firm, and we just tell them that, hey, we cannot do this. Okay, we are, and just put that boundary. Sometimes you need to have consequences. Sometimes you need to let them know that this is not, we cannot have this. So if they are hitting, if they're playing with a cousin, if they're playing with you and they hit you, you take that. If you're going to hit me, we are not playing. And then you don't play.
Mhm.
They need to know that this behavior is not really in their favor.
Mhm.
That's the message that we need to give them.
Mhm.
So having
Right.
clear boundaries.
Beautiful. There's so many more questions. I think we will need to do another session, but probably with more tighter online control. I think, I don't know, maybe having everybody turn on the camera so we already vet them might be a good option. So we already know who they are. But, it's been like great conversation. I probably will have Ishinna come back one of these other time to do another longer session. But I really enjoyed talking to you. I think we crossed like an hour mark. So but thank you for taking your time out. I know it's such a busy time for you with everything that's going. We didn't talk much on the book, but some key points that's are in your book that I think parents should definitely check out.
So this is the book, Power
Mom
to the
Power.
Parent, like mom power. I think we all are trying to do the same, trying to help
Yes.
parents. And this book basically talks about mainly how to
Mhm.
understand children, understand
Mhm.
yourself in that process, how to
Mhm.
really connect with children, because connection is the base of parenting.
Right.
More you are connected with your children, more you are going to get through to them. There's so many things that we want our children to do, we want them to listen to us. There's so many things we want for our children, but if we are not connected, it's like this internet connection that we have. If we are not connected, our messages will not get across to each other. If we are not connected with our children, our messages will not get across to them. Connection
Mhm.
is the base, and that's what this book talks about. That's what I would like to say. So talk. Otherwise, tantrums, how to handle tantrums, what to do when children are throwing tantrums, or discipline. Discipline is a very, very important. Half the book is on discipline. So,
That's
but
right.
disciplining without anger, that's a question that a lot of us have. So that's the answer in the book.
Cannot wait to read it. I'm super excited for you and this journey. And it's wonderful that you're spreading this positive message to parents. I feel like more and more people need to do this and to just create that awareness among mothers, the kind of power they actually truly have, and to recognize it and to do that role with their best possible way with whatever their best is, not somebody else's best, but their best to figure out what way can I do better. So thank you for your time, and thank you guys for everybody who joined us on this special like week. I know you guys have a lot of things planned with Mother's Day coming up. So we just want to say that we're always here anytime you want any help. End of today, we want to see the impact. We want to see moms moving in the right direction. So reach out to us, and soon we'll be hosting a conference. So we'll let you know the dates. Just working on the final venue and the timeline, so we could get amazing people like Ishinna on board, which we'll talk soon. But
Thank you
yes,
for having me.
yes, thank you for your time, and thank you guys. Mom Power 360, an empowering community for moms just like you and me.